Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Lost Boyz Podcast. This is episode number 47, which means we're only 5 weeks out from the 1 year anniversary. We're at 82 subscribers, so that means we only need 18 more to get to 100 for the 1 year anniversary. So please like, comment, subscribe more than anything, and also share it because we really want the 100 subscribers for the 1 year anniversary, and it would mean a lot if you guys helped out. So please do that. Make sure to do that. And with that being said, episode number 47 is going to be a little different one from the ones we've typically done. This one's going to be more of a current event.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about China and why if they keep fucking around, they're going to find the fuck out. So just to give some context for those of you who may not know, recently, as in like a couple days ago, China had a balloon. I believe it was like a satellite balloon flying over the U.S. and it flew over many it flew over many U.S. nuclear sites and like very important ones. So some like in Montana, I forget where the other ones are in which states, but it's in that area like the Dakotas, the Montanas, the places where no one wants to go.
Yeah, where you think there ain't shit there.
That's where that is. That's why they're states.
Yeah.
For strategy, but. Yeah, so a balloon was flying over there, managed to get all the way to South Carolina for some reason, and then it was finally shot down. It also came out that there was one in Latin America that I saw. I don't know if it was shot down yet or not, or what happened with that one. I didn't check too far into that. I just focused on the U.S. And then you just told me now that there might have been another one.
Yeah, I saw that there was one over Tokyo, India, and Philippines.
Okay, so all the U.S. allies, basically.
Mm-hmm.
The U.S. from Japan all the way across the U.S. before getting to Europe.
Pretty much, yeah. So
yeah.
China's got something cooking up. Like
yeah, I also
with their weather surveillance balloons.
Yeah, I also heard something that supposedly like the U.S. just got approved by the Philippines to build an even larger base in the Philippines. So I guess the U.S. is like, okay, you want to fuck around? You're gonna find the fuck out, buddy.
Oh.
Listen, all I'm saying is, do not underestimate the U.S.
Yeah.
We are number one for a reason. And if China keeps fucking around, I'm telling you, they're going to find the fuck out.
Listen, I don't care what anybody says. The United States has the hardest mixtape of all time. It's when the staff sergeant is like, somebody else will raise your sons and daughters. I was like, yo, no other country's doing this.
Yeah, I think I saw they put the Chief Keef Sosa in the background.
Yo, like.
It's true, man.
We keep saying it, but at a certain point, as a country, it has to come true. Like, you keep poking the bear's going to fucking hit you back.
Yeah. I have a question for you then. So how do you feel about this balloon flying over the U.S.?
I think the balloon flying over the U.S., along with a lot of other things that they do, is like them playing a little game. It's like, how far can I get? You take an inch. You might wait a little bit. You're going to take another inch. You're going to take another inch. And by who knows how long, at some point you've taken feet by then. Mm-hmm. And that's what I see that China's doing, where it's like, all right, we did this. They didn't do anything. Let's let it simmer. Let's let it sit. All right, let's do this. They didn't do anything. All right, cool. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. And by then, they've already gotten everything they fucking need because they spaced it out so perfectly where we keep letting these little acts slide. But eventually, it's created a hole.
So, yeah, as far as the balloon, right, my only thing, first of all, I agree, right? Like, I think you just keep trying little things to just see how far you can go before they retaliate. And also because then it makes you, it's like, whoa, what are you doing, buddy? Like, I didn't do nothing kind of thing. Versus just like blatantly doing something. But my issue with the balloon that I found hard to believe is that the balloon got from Montana all the way to South Carolina, which is practically like almost across the country. Mm-hmm. Why did it take so long to get it the fuck down? Like, why did they take so... Obviously, there must be something that we don't know that they're not sharing with us. And then maybe the cover-up is that, we were cautious. We don't want, the thing to drop on, like, civilians or households or to cause property damage, whatever. But the reason why I struggle to believe that is because from Montana to South Carolina, there has to be one fucking farm. And I know there's multiple farms in middle of America. Like there's literally not much in middle of America. It's like 3 houses and then like 15 million acres of land before the next house appears. So it's like, it's hard to believe that there was no fucking time in there to knock it down. Yeah. But in South Carolina, they somehow find the space to knock it down. What? That don't make sense to me. So there's definitely more to it that we're not aware of, at least in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Just because I feel like if it was that big of a threat, they would have knocked it down right away. So there's definitely something else involved that we're just not sure. The civilians, the people aren't aware of, but obviously they know what they're doing, which is why they took action the way they took action. Yeah, I just think China right now is playing a dangerous game. I think they're playing with fire. But before I get even further into that, because it just crossed my mind, I want to jump into it right away. Mm-hmm. It's funny because I saw some memes on Twitter, and it was like people using TikTok. No one says a word. Balloon flies over the U.S. Oh my God, they're spying on us. It's like they've been spying on you through TikTok this entire time.
Oh yeah, like the thing with TikTok too is like it's proven that TikTok in the United States and TikTok in China have different algorithms. Mm-hmm. Different things go viral. Like in China, they're promoting, oh, you go viral for educational shit. And now you're helping people get smarter. Bam. That goes viral.
Yeah.
Over here, you do a dance to the song and 14 trillion views.
Yeah.
So it's like, this may not seem like a big deal to the average person, but when you really sit down and think about it, it's like, oh, it's like brainwashing. Mm-hmm. You're changing the direction of, what's the term I'm looking for? Like social acuity. Like in a social setting, where are these people? How are they going to get their attention? They're going to get it by dancing. Over there, how are they going to get their attention? They're going to get their attention by getting smarter. Mm-hmm. And the smarter a society gets, the more you don't want to fuck with that country.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, we were the smartest society.
Yeah.
Well, you can say we were, or maybe we were just the most brainwashed, but.
Yeah. Yeah, China's interesting, man. Also, I haven't dove into it, but I know they've been saying since like 2020, oh, we're going to ban TikTok. It's been 3 years and nothing's happened. And the same conversation is still being had, like, oh, we're going to ban TikTok, but it's not being banned. Mm-hmm. So it's like, why is it not being banned? Number one. And then number two, if it does pose such a threat and they think that's happening, like, I'm sure there's some level of U.S. intelligence doing something similar. Mm-hmm. Or they're able to manipulate it in a way where they can stop most of what China's trying to do. That's the only reason why I can see why it's not being banned, because otherwise they're not even an American company, so you can ban it out of America. Like you could just be like, nah. But I mean, I guess I see where it comes into play, where it's like, oh, but then like we're not so free because you can tell us what we can and can't do. But it's also like this is threatening.
It's national security.
Yeah, exactly. This is to protect you, so you can go for a walk and not have to worry about a missile landing in front of your face. So I see both sides. I don't know. I haven't really dove into it too, so I don't know the specifics. But I did think that was funny. The memes, like the balloon. Oh my God, TikTok. No problem. But
I saw it recently. Let me fact check this before I say this. So they didn't vote on the full ban yet.
Okay.
But they voted to remove it on all government-issued devices, which is like, all right, cool. But then it goes back to what I said before. It's like, this is just like step one. Mm-hmm. Like, if they feel as though this can't like have government information related to it, it's like you said too, it's for a reason. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, we know so little in reality. We know like 2% of what the fuck is happening.
Yeah, we know like the tip of the iceberg, and then there's everything underneath that we probably will never know. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's why that goes with anything, like even politics and stuff like that. There's a little side tangent, but I made a tweet about this. I tweeted, if you don't know what it's called, not pork belly, pork barrel politics is. then stop running with headlines and getting like saying like, oh, cancel this person because you're not reading the bill, so you don't understand why. Because something they do in politics is called pork barrel. So what they'll do is they'll put, okay, abortion, right? That's the bill. The bill's about abortion. But within the bill, they'll put stuff on purpose so that certain senators in certain states will vote for it because they're going to benefit from it. So John in Idaho might be like, they might say he's a Democrat, but is a he's a Republican, but there's a bunch of Democrats voting. He'll say, we're going to give Idaho $5 million extra for farmers and everything. So he's like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna sign off because that's gonna look good on me, and it's good for my people in Idaho. But to everybody else, and it's like everybody else that votes no, they're like, oh, like what the fuck? How could you vote no for abortion or whatever the case may be? But they don't read the full bill. And then part of that bill, they will see like, oh, at the very bottom, the Democrats are going to pay themselves an extra $400,000 a year. Yeah. And it's like, what the fuck? Fuck no. That happens all the time in politics, which is why you see a headline like, oh, this senator voted against this. And everybody's like, what? Oh my God, like that's so like inhumane. Like, it's like, no, read the entire bill first. And then you'll probably understand why they voted no. It's not the actual concept. It's probably what was thrown in the bill that no one knows about because no one's reading the bill besides them.
Something too, like regular day-to-day people need to understand about bills is that they are thousands of pages long.
Yeah.
Like thousands of pages long. So you're just looking at it page 1, right? All right, yeah, we're going to give these people money. But on page 972, on line 3, section 2, right? It says something that is definitely not in your best interest. But if you sign off on one, you sign off on all. Mm-hmm. So it's like...
Yeah. And so the reason why I say that is because I think that relates to anything, especially when it comes to national security and intelligence. They're not going to share certain things with the public on purpose, rightfully so, because the fucking public will go nuts. Also, you don't want to give out information to other countries, and you don't want other countries to be able to use that propaganda against your own country. So there's certain things you're going to keep classified on purpose. And then there's conspiracies for that too, like whether it's good or bad. Sometimes I think it's good. Sometimes I think it's good in general because they give you some of the truth, but not the whole truth. Mm-hmm. But I just think there's definitely more going on with China and that balloon than we know, because I just find it hard to believe that from Montana to South Carolina, there was not one moment where they found a time or a slot where they're like, all right, this is our window to get it down. Mm-hmm. And they didn't try. So it's either that or they tried and they failed and they didn't want to like let anyone know, because as far as my knowledge, the guy who shot it down did it his first try, and you just explained to me, which I didn't know, that he was going like a Mach 8, Mach 9 like, straight up, which is insane. The fact that he didn't pass out is fucking impressive.
Like, so obviously I'm no physicist. I'm just reiterating what I saw, that where the balloon was placed at the time it was shot down was such a difficult location to get to, that the jet that shot it down had to like go at a vertical angle. Ooh, I just hit the mic. Go at a vertical angle as opposed to like a regular like side shot at like the time of release of the missile or whatever. So it goes to what that does to me, like what I said to you before, is like, well, if it's something that's so harmless, why is it placed in such a difficult spot? Mm-hmm. A spot that you know is going to be very difficult to shoot down.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all strategy. It's all done on purpose. That's the reason why certain states are states in this country. That's the reason why we have bases in certain countries. It's all military strategy and strategics to be placed in certain positions so that if anything ever happens, you can respond quick enough. And with the technology we have, we can respond quick enough, and we are in the right spots. Which is another thing I want to bring up. I feel like so many people have a misunderstanding of the actual power and force in the U.S. military. It is probably the most funded like organization in the world. Like it gets like $3 trillion a year, rightfully so. There's one thing that triggers me, it gets me tight is if people saying like, oh, like you spend $3 trillion on the military, but you can't do this. Well, spending $3 trillion on the military is the reason why you have a house and you don't have to worry about a jet flying over and bombing you. Like, it's for a reason. It's having a $3 trillion budget is the reason why we're so safe as a country compared to others from outside invaders, and no one tries us, no one tests us, everyone fears us and respects us. It's for a reason. And you want to cut back on it to then give them a reason not to fuck with us? Get the fuck out of here. Go over there and do that shit, bro. I'm living good here.
There's a reason why you could dance so freely on TikTok.
Exactly.
It's because people know that we have technology that other motherfuckers don't have.
Yeah.
And they don't want to find out.
And I think people overestimate the powers of Russia and China and countries like them. I don't believe them to be as technologically advanced as people say. I still think they're probably advanced, but not as advanced as the U.S. You also have to remember intelligence, right? National security. You want to keep certain things secrets so other countries don't know you have them or they don't know where they are. You're not going to tell everybody every technology you have. Like drones, the fact that people have drones now, I promise you in like 1980s, that was a thing already. Like the U.S. already had drones. Whenever there's a new technology that comes out, that's like, whoa, this is sick. Like these night vision goggles are crazy. Oh, blah, blah. It's like crazy for civilians to have. The military had it like 20, 30 years ago. And they probably have something far more advanced and insane than that from then to now. You wouldn't even be able to believe like, what the fuck? But they keep them private on purpose. There's intelligence agencies using them and special operation units using them. Your normal infantry is not going to have them, obviously, because you need to keep them secrets for that reason, for national security. So I generally don't think China is advanced as everyone thinks them to be. I don't think they're as strong and powerful as people make them out to be. Same with Russia. And Russia is like a perfect example of this, where I believe it was... When did the Soviet Union collapse? The 80s or 90s? Early 90s, late 80s, I think. When the Soviet Union collapsed, that all these countries started separating and becoming their own countries and all this stuff. That's when everyone found out, oh, shit, the Soviet Union was so outdated. They didn't, what we thought they had, they weren't even close to having. They, like, not even close. It was just propaganda and perception. You see them as this military might, and then they collapse, and then you realize... Dude, they weren't even close to competing with us. Like, look, they're way down there and we're way up. We're so far advanced compared to them.
Let me just say this on the topic of technologically advanced and everything like that. We would not struggle to take Ukraine.
No. Yeah.
Like, end of conversation.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that them invading Ukraine has taken so long, if they so-called don't fear NATO and everything like that, right? Or NATO interference. Which, by the way, wow, this just went down a different rabbit hole. China agreed with Russia that us sending, I forgot what we sent to Ukraine. It might have been ammunition or something like that, or tanks. Is official involvement of war. So apparently, like, China's now like, ooh, it's our time to shine.
Yeah, they send in like fighter jets to Russia.
Yeah. So, honestly...
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
I don't remember the guy's name, the leader of China. I can't remember his name. I think it's C something. I don't know. I don't remember his name. I don't want to say it because then if I fuck it up, everybody's going to call me racist. But I don't know. That dude is crazy. I've also heard some things from like, you know, watching podcasts, people in the Department of Justice, the Department of Defense, people that work and contract with them. Specifically, this one guy, I can't remember his name, but it was on Joe Rogan. He works, I think, in contract with Department of Defense, not necessarily for them. But he was saying he's a surveillance unit, and he was basically saying like in his prediction, he was saying that he sees China collapsing in the next 10 years if they stay on the same trajectory they're on. Because right now, what a lot of people don't understand and why so many people in China are dying every single day is because back then they put a ban on how many kids you can have. You were limited to one kid and it had to be a boy for military reasons, right? You want fighters. Because of that, there are so many elderly people now that it's becoming a burden on China's economy because China's I think they are the biggest population in one country besides India. And I think India is surpassing them now because so many Chinese people are dying because there's way too many people to take care of. They're all elderly for the majority of it. Obviously, they're still young people, but the majority of them are elderly, and there's a big population of the elderly, like basically like baby boomers, like that, but like on steroids. And they're all getting sick and dying. And if anyone understands economics, the biggest burden to an economy is the elderly, which is why Social Security is such a big deal in the U.S. because it's such a burden on the economy. That's what's going on in China right now. And they're facing that within their own country. And then they're trying to step out. I've also heard that the leader has more of like a Joseph Stalin kind of characteristic to him, which is like basically if you agree with him too much, he doesn't fuck with you. And if you disagree with him, he'll smoke your pack. So it creates like this beef where no one shares enough intelligence. They share the minimal amount. And so there's this division now. And not all the intelligence is getting to where it needs to be. And that's causing problems for China as well. So if those are all true that I watched and heard, and those people really are as credible as they say they are, I don't know why China's fucking around. They're going to find the fuck out.
They're going to find out bad.
They really are.
The 51st state.
And they even said it about like the balloon, like, oh, like this is basically like saying like we can retaliate to the U.S. if we want because they shot our balloon down that was flying over their country and their air. It's like, yeah, dude, you're out of your mind. You're really like trying to get smoked right now. Yeah. If we pull all U.S. people using your manufacturers out, your economy is going to shit. That's why they didn't fuck with Trump, because Trump threatened that. Trump had threatened China. Oh, yeah, you want to fuck around? Okay, we're going to go all to U.S. manufacturers only. U.S. and Mexico, North American manufacturers only. And China shit themselves and was like, oh, okay, never mind. And then they started listening to what Trump had to say. And they listened to him and did it for that reason, because they understand a big part of their economy comes from that too. So, I don't know. China's...
Trade.
Yeah. China, I don't know. China's fucking around too much. They're going to find out if they keep going the way they're going. Because even Russia, at least to our knowledge, hasn't tried that yet.
Yeah.
There's always naval ships getting too close to our waters. But that's normal. That's like 24/7, which is why if you ever see a map of U.S. naval ships and where they are, the ones that
everywhere,
the ones that you can see where they are, they literally surround the entire world, and they surround the entire country, like all of Latin America, any U.S. like wherever there's a U.S. presence, they have surroundings of it.
Oh yeah,
and they're just close enough that they're not violating international law.
And that's the thing. We're talking about countries we don't have agreements with at that point. You know how many countries welcome U.S. naval ships on their waters?
Yeah.
Hey, because it's like, all right, like you get protection from us, but in return, we're going to watch this area.
Yeah.
Deal. For a small country that has 13 people that can fight, it's a no-brainer. It's like, yeah, come here. Like,
yeah.
So with that, there are so many pockets of the fucking world that the United States has naval ships waiting to do something, like waiting for the motherfucker dumb enough to find out. Like,
yeah, and not only that, there's submarines that no one knows where they are besides the people in them and, commanders and stuff, because they're not going to come up on radar, or they're not going to tell people where our submarines are. And another country too that if they fuck around too much, we'll find out, is Saudi Arabia. Because there's this whole thing with oil now, and they're trying to do this. I forget the name of it, but they're trying to do this this thing where it's like Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, China, Russia, where they're all like coming together to trade oil in one specific currency they're trying to build, or one country's currency, I forget which one, and get rid of the U.S. dollar trading in oil, which baffles my mind, because if you understand the reason why Saudi Arabia is not at war right now is because of the U.S. The U.S. literally is protecting them from Iran. Iran. Somebody who's Iranian is going to get fucking tight. I said that. But they're protecting them from Iran. You don't understand, bro. Iran, I feel so weird saying that. I'm so used to saying Iran. Iran constantly tries to fucking take over Saudi Arabia. And it's the U.S.'s protection that stops Iran from doing it for multiple reasons. Obviously, Iran is not a friend of the U.S. There's also a lot of oil in Iran, in Saudi Arabia, which would make Iran way too powerful, along with many other things. And that's why there's also a lot of proxy wars in the Middle East. So a lot of people get on the U.S. for that too. Bottom line, what I'll say, for example, in Yemen, I think the north of it, they're called the Houthis, which is like Iranians. And the south is being helped by the U.S. for obvious reasons, because Yemen is right next to Saudi Arabia. So it's all military strategic.
Yeah.
Everything happens for military strategies. But bottom line is, if you think the U.S. is a bully, that's fine. But my logic going into it is, I'd much rather be a bully than get bullied. I'd much rather be the country fucking people up than being the country getting fucked up. So you can talk shit about the U.S. You can say they do fucked up this, and that. At the end of the day, if they didn't do those things, you would not live the life you have right now.
It's true. Like, such a fucking fact. Rather be the bully than the bullied. I wanted to say this quick. Other countries have tried moving like oil trade and shit like that off of the dollar or off of the U.S. currency. Most notably, the most recent one was Venezuela, right? In, I want to say, late 2000s, early 2010s. Look at Venezuela today.
Yeah. I'm telling you, people underestimate the power of the U.S. The reason why Cuba is the way it is because of the U.S. Cuba didn't want to partner with us. They're too close to United States, to Key West. They decided to partner with the Soviet Union. U.S. said, oh, okay. You ever heard of a trade embargo? Well, you about to find out what that is right fucking now when your people go starving. And they literally surrounded Cuba. No trades in, no trades out. Survive off your own shit on your island. And let's see what happens. Yeah. That's why so many Cubans wanted to leave too, because of the communist ideologies and what was happening. But that's what happens when you fuck around. You like you said, you poke the bear's gonna bite back, buddy. So you keep fucking around, you're going to find the fuck out. And I just hate when I see people. Something that kind of bothers me is like, if you're a patriot in the U.S., is like a bad thing apparently.
Yeah.
Like, I get the majority of the populace in the U.S. is probably predominantly from immigrants. There's a reason why people want to come here. There's a reason why people live here. There's a reason why people stay here. I hate when people talk shit about the U.S. just because especially if they were born and raised here, because they don't understand the privileges they have here. And I don't really truly understand them either. But just going to any third world country, even if they have even if they're backed up by the U.S., you can see the difference and how excited they get. Like when they see they could have an opportunity to go to America. It's for a reason. And then you're here and you're going to talk shit about, oh, they do this, they do this, they do that. Okay, go to the third world country and let me know what they're doing then.
Yeah.
There's a reason why that shit is fucked up. There's a reason why there's anarchy and chaos in the streets over there. Sure, we do fucked up shit, yes, but you got to do fucked up shit to stay in power. No, you can't. The nice guy is never the most powerful man.
The nice guy can't maintain power.
Yeah, you got to be able to put your foot down and take charge sometimes.
Look, to maintain power, right? You got to understand, with power, you can do good and you can do bad.
Yep.
And other people are going to do bad with their power. And you got to be willing to match the energy.
Yeah.
And not even just match, one up them. Like, another country tries us, the United States has to show them, not just show them, because they're going to learn, but show every other country why that's not what you do.
Exactly.
It's like a child in school, right? If a kid steals another kid's fucking, I don't know, crayon, right? The teacher reprimands the kid and explains why you don't do that. Same thing goes for the country. When that country comes to fuck with us, you show them why you don't do that, and you show the rest of the world why you don't fucking do that.
Yep.
And if the rest of the world is slightly decent, they're not going to fucking find out.
Yeah, and that goes with anything in life too. Like, people are always watching to how you respond. So if you respond with a soft mentality, if you don't put your foot down hard enough, people see it like, okay. I could walk all over this dude. I could walk all over this person. I could walk all over this country, this state, this municipality, whatever, these cops, whatever the case may be. But when you come down hard on them, they're like, oh, shit, okay. If I fucking run, they're going to fuck me up. Mm-hmm. So I probably shouldn't run. And that's a perfect example. Like, the U.S. literally did that with Iran when they were trying to build nuclear. I mean, they're always trying to build nuclear weapons, but in this specific moment, like I told you before, I forget if it was Trump or Obama that was president. It was one of them too. But Iran was trying to build nuclear weapons. And if they had, for example, I don't know the exact number. Let's say they had 10 scientists working on it. Like 8 of them just fell off the face of the earth. No one knows whatever happened to them. That tells the rest of the world, you try this shit, watch what's going to happen, buddy. That tells all the other scientists too, like, I don't know if I want to work on these because the U.S. might pick me up and I might disappear. Also, I'm assuming that's what the U.S. did. It just kind of makes logical sense, though, how they're trying to build nuclear weapons. The U.S. doesn't want them to. Suddenly, their scientists go off the face of the planet. No one knows to this day where they are. Look, rightfully so. You want to fuck around? You found the fuck out. Look, the general from Iran, he wanted to fuck around, and he found the fuck out.
That's what I was going to say. Like, this country has so much technology, and technologies we don't even understand, that there is not a human being in the world we can't find.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. Osama bin Laden was and this is in 2000, what was it?
11.
11 was
that he got killed, yeah.
This is in 2011. Think about how many technological advancements have happened since 2011, right?
Yep.
Just the ones that we've even seen. This was the most hidden man on the planet. They found his house. They knew the inside of his house, 3 floors, which floor he was on, what room was his, where his kids were staying, where his wives were at. Like, yo, without ever entering the house.
Yeah.
They knew all of this.
Yeah. And then the dev crew came and knocked on his door. Gave him a pleasant surprise. Hello, motherfucker.
The delivery service.
Yeah. SEAL Team 6 pulled up, dev crews, and they said, yeah, you can run, but you can't hide, pal.
It's like, look, like the one of the generals that Trump was having conversations with, we mentioned this before. He wanted to fuck around and find out, so Trump sent him pictures of him in front of his house, his wife in front of his house, his family in front of the house. He responds with, why are you sending me pictures of my own house? So you know what the fuck we got. Like, yo, there's like, nobody is safe, bro. Like, nobody.
And like I always say, rightfully fucking so. I'd rather be the bully on the block than to be the kid that's getting bullied. And some people might not like how that sounds or whatever, but it's just life, bro. You got to do fucked up shit sometimes. It's just the way it goes. Sometimes it is necessary, and there's times when it's not. But in times that it's necessary, you have to go fucking hard so people don't keep trying it, so it doesn't have to become necessary. It's just setting an example for everyone else to see and be like, oh, shit, let me think twice before I try to do something. Look at every president or every leader that was leading a country was with the U.S., then turned their back on the U.S., and then look at their country and look what happened to them. Look at Manuel Noriega. Panama, right? Shit's good with Panama. The U.S., Panama, great relations. Everything's going well. Shit's good. All of a sudden, Noriega goes, you know what? I don't need the U.S. Fuck the U.S. And then where's Noriega now? They found that they arrested him. He was butt naked in a church. They played rock music for like 72 hours until he was losing his mind, that he came out and handed himself over. He went to jail for like 60 years. He came out and he died like, I don't know, like a couple of years, like maybe 5-10 years ago. Look at Panama now. Not that very wealthy of a country.
Look, you can do that. You can send your enemies pictures of their houses. You can find anybody on the planet when you have the highest defense spending on the planet.
Yep.
We can't do that if we cut our defense spending in half.
Hell no. That's why that shit gets me tight.
Like, yo, we don't need another fucking TikTok in the world, right? Yeah. But it'll happen, right? But what we do need is protection. So, like, I remember, like, I was like a freshman or sophomore in high school. I did a paper on how we spend too much money on our defense. And then I grew up, and I was like, oh, this is why we do what we do.
Yep.
Keep that shit dead.
Yep, 100%. It's extremely necessary. You want if I have one place to put my money, and I was a leader of a country, I'm putting all the money into my soldiers, or the majority of my money into my soldiers, because they're the ones that are gonna keep this place alive. Without them, dude, fucking 5 people with bow and arrows will come and tear this shit up. Like there's no defense system. What am I gonna? How do I protect myself now? How do I protect everyone else that's relying on me to protect them? And so on and so forth. Another example I was gonna bring up about that is like with Cuba again too. I forget the president's name. I don't think it's Trujillo. Trujillo might have been I know DR. Yeah, but I think he might have had the same last name. I could be wrong, but the president in Cuba before Castro, pro-U.S., great relationships, casinos being built, hotels being built, predominantly by the mafia, but everything's being built. Economy's starting to move in Havana, Cuba. Castro comes, takes over. Anti-U.S., look at Cuba. They fucked around, they found out. Yep. Like all these countries, and I'm pretty sure there's tons more. If you look in like the Middle East and places like that, same thing. If you look in African countries, I was just
gonna say even in Africa,
yeah, same thing. Like all of that stuff. Yeah, just stop underestimating the fucking U.S., especially like citizens of the U.S. Underestimating the U.S. bothers me. Nothing bothers me more than somebody who gets mad at somebody for being patriotic. You should. Sure, there may be things that you don't necessarily agree with, that you're not happy with the country. That happens in every country. But to talk shit about your own country, in your country, and you experience a certain lifestyle because of the country.
Of that country.
Yeah, it's like, okay, either two things. Either one, shut the fuck up. Or two, pack your bags, get on a plane, and go live in whatever country you think isn't doing it.
Yeah.
And let me know how that goes for you and see if it's the same thing over there. Because it's probably the same, if not worse. And yeah, that shit
reminds me of when Dave Chappelle was like, or you could shut the fuck up.
literally, you could do one of the two. And I think the U.S. is the only one that really has that problem. Like every immigrant or like tourist that you see, you ask them about their country, they always praise their country. Always praise their country. And like if you talk shit about their country in front of them, they'll dead ass get tight. Like they'll want to fucking fight you. And their country could be fucking dog shit, and they'll still want to fight you and fuck you up for disrespecting their country. You do that to the U.S.? Okay.
Yep.
It's like, what? Where's the patriotism? All that, like, I think that's what we lack in society right now in America. But yeah, that's enough of my history lessons and talks for today. You got anything else? Any other topics? Do you think we'll go to war with China?
Nah.
No?
I think it's such a prominent conversation because that's what sells.
Yeah.
That's what gets attention. I don't think it's really as big of a threat as we are told. Same thing with Russia.
Yeah. I don't see us going to war, at least not yet. But if they keep egging it on, I could see them getting fucked up by the U.S.
The possibility is there. The possibility is very real. Possibility of war is always real, number one. I just don't think, in my humble opinion, that at this moment we're bracing for war. Yeah.
Also, too, if it's not like, China, U.S. war, Russia, U.S. war. No, it's China, Russia, U.S., Canada, Mexico, Australia, every other country in Latin America, and like half of Europe, England, France, Ireland, Norway, like the most random states you could think. All of them against Russia, China, and whoever else they may have on their side. Japan is with the U.S., Philippines, like literally the majority. NATO itself is already OD, and then you bring in like some of the outlier countries that aren't in NATO.
Call them in.
Yeah, literally. It's like, good luck. And also you're looking at a United Nations jumping in too, which is practically the U.S. So it's a lot of fucking people versus them. So if they're going to start, they better be fucking prepared.
They better come correct.
Yeah, because if you're going to start a fucking all-out war, World War III, shit's going to hit the fucking fan. And also Germany isn't a fan of China and Russia, or at least Russia. So they're very powerful and play strategically well. That dates back to World War II.
we also have bases in Germany.
Yeah, we have bases, big ass bases in Germany, Korea, Philippines. We have
Japan.
even in Cuba, Guantanamo Bay.
See, but Cuba at least is loosening their tone with us.
Yeah.
Because I think after so many years, they've learned their lesson.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, the Castros kind of are over too. Like, I don't think there's any Castros in power now. Or if there is, it's not like Fidel or his brother or nothing. I think it's maybe like a son or something. But yeah, they're starting to loosen up. More people are starting to travel there little by little, which I would like to go to Cuba, actually.
Facts.
Just because I feel like it's like a time travel. Like, they literally still live like the 1950s.
Yo, that'd be dope as fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, that's all I've got for today.
Yeah, same here.
All right, bet, man. It was episode 47. Comment down below what you think. Is there anything you agreed with, disagreed with? What is your take on the balloon flying over the U.S.? How did you feel about it, maybe? Do you think we'll go to war anytime soon or not? And do you think the U.S. is capable of destroying these other countries or not? Comment down below. All that stuff. If you agree, disagree, anything like that. Like. Be sure to subscribe. Get us to 100 subscribers for the 1-year anniversary. We're 5 weeks away. We only need 18 more of you guys. So please share it as well. And subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.